A tragic update to Tuesday's horrific freeway DUI crash allegedly caused by an illegal immigrant driver.
A California school says its former basketball coach and his wife were among the victims killed in the chain reaction wreck.
Chandler Painter has the details on that story. Good morning, Chandler.
Hey, good morning. So Pomona High School revealing in a post that their former assistant basketball coach, Clarence Nelson, and his wife, Lisa, were among the 3 victims killed when a tractor trailer plowed into slow-moving traffic Tuesday. This dash cam video obtained by Fox shows just how devastating the crash was, as police say the truck driver, an illegal migrant from India, never touched his brakes before plowing into other vehicles.
I can confirm that California gave this individual a license. He killed 3 people, and he first entered the United States in 2022 through the southern border, and he was released into our country by the previous administration. These tragedies are following a disturbing pattern of these criminal illegal aliens being issued commercial vehicle licenses. And so, yes, the Department of Transportation is absolutely cracking down on that.
And in a statement to Fox, California Governor Gavin Newsom acknowledges the illegal migrant driver has a California CDL, but blames the federal government for the crash, telling Fox News Digital. The federal government approved and renewed this individual's federal employment authorization multiple times, which allowed him to obtain a commercial driver's license in accordance with federal law. This work permit Newsom refers to would have been approved by the Biden administration. Well, last night, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy reacted on Hannity Watch.
That wasn't illegal who Gavin Newsom issued a driver's license to, contrary to my law, contrary to my rule. And by the way, these aren't always the best and brightest. These are criminals that these left-wing nut jobs are protecting.
And we're also learning that the illegal migrant truck driver involved in that deadly crash in Florida that killed 3 people back in August failed his commercial driver's license test 10 times in a 2-month span back in 2023, guys.
Thanks so much. They also said that Singh failed his air brake knowledge exam twice. I just don't understand, if I trying to just get a normal license, if you fail the test, you can't drive. Right. If you're caught without a license, how do you drive a commercial vehicle without a commercial vehicle license if you fail the test?
Well, also, we know that he could not pass the test because he couldn't read and speak English. I mean, the test is not provided in a foreign language. And so the question is, who passed him along? The second criticism I have is Gavin Newsom is comparing 2 things. He's saying a work permit authorization is the reason why this happened. I'm sorry, the work permit authorization is for you to apply for a job, but you still have to be qualified for the job as well. So he's conflating the 2.
This is the guy, this is the one that happened a few months ago down in Florida. Remember that U-turn and the minivan crashes right into him? First of all, who does a U-turn on a highway, much less than an 18-wheeler? This guy, it says, this is on foxnews.com, investigators at the Florida AG's office learned that he failed his CDL, his commercial driver's license, knowledge exam in Washington State 10 times between March 10th, 2023 and May 5th, 2023. They also learned he failed his air brakes knowledge exam twice, as Brian said. So maybe he failed 10 times and finally, somehow he passed the test the last time, the 11th time.
But Washington State also said that he spoke English there. And the cops on the scene clearly show that he could not.
He got one of the signs
lying.
Correct.
Someone's lying there. And they need to get to the bottom of that because they're culpable for the death of all those people that day.
Here's the Florida Attorney General. Talked about the truck driver who failed 10 times before killing 3. He says, that school will be hearing from my office. Yes, I would assume so. He should be hearing from his office. How many other truck drivers are on the road right now who don't know how to work their brakes? And we got it caught on camera, so it's and Governor Newsom's parry to blame somebody else, it just shows the lack of leadership that he continues to exhibit.
Yeah, J.B. Pritzker from Illinois, governor of Illinois, was on with Brett yesterday, and he was talking about how dangerous it is for the president to send ICE into these communities. But you see, when you learn this guy down in Florida took the lives of 3 people, allegedly, he's accused of that. And then in California, another illegal driving an 18-wheeler takes the life of 3 people, too, including a former basketball coach and his wife, and now the high school is mourning. So this is the governor of Illinois.
What I can tell you is that Alberto Pinochet was an authoritarian. There are lots of authoritarians that I could point to. It happens that I know best because I helped build a Holocaust museum sitting next to Holocaust survivors about what the Nazis did in those early years.
No, I understand that.
I'm not
but
talking
you're
about the
comparing to
Holocaust. I'm
ICE
talking about
agents.
what they were doing, taking away people's rights, arresting people, asking them for papers. No, we're saying that if you're an ICE agent and you do these things, we think you ought to be held accountable. And yet no one in Washington, no one above them, no supervisor, no inspector general is holding anybody accountable.
He's blaming the ICE officials for forcing the law. This is not a reasonable point of view. He wants to be president, obviously, and he wouldn't back off of saying that ICE is compared to him. And he says, I know best because you built a museum. You know best on this.
Any eighth grader knows what happened in World War II and knows that Hitler's bad. And to make an analysis between a law enforcement agency called ICE and the Gestapo, and these are Nazis, because you helped build, and I'm sure it was minimal what he else did. He probably wrote a check from his family's account. And he said, because I know Holocaust survivors, I can compare men and women in their 20s and 30s who decided as a career to enforce federal crimes and round up the illegals who were sprawling all over your airports, all over your city streets, taking up your resources because the previous president wouldn't enforce the border. And now this president has to go round up those people because you won't. And there's problems because you won't allow them to cooperate. And you want to look at them as thugs and you wonder why they've been targeted in the streets, boxed in different areas, putting their lives in jeopardy. And he doubles and triples down last night, oblivious to how irresponsible he's being. He's also saying, I need the FBI. You have the FBI there. They were there even before ICE got there.
Well, Brett also asked him about the commander. He brings up the commander, and the commander has a hit on him right now. Bavino, that's on the ground, that's leading the operation. He doubled down on after the guys that threatened to assassinate the guy. And then Brett followed up and said, aren't you worried that your rhetoric is going to contribute to some of the violence? And he still went back down and say, I condemn that or any of that.
Because his numbers look good with Democrats when he does things like that. He's all political operative.
Brett held his feet to the fire when he said, we're number one in violent crime.
Right.
And
he dismissed it.
He did dismiss it. Something needs to be done in Chicago.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.